We are going to speak on data science and some of its basic principles and how it can or how different career pathways can be formed within this domain sector in data science and data analysis. And we are joined in by Sneha and Abis, and we are expecting few guests more on our panel discussion today. Before going to the podcast, I would like to ask Sneha to introduce herself, and then I'll move on to Abis as well.
I'm really glad to be part of such esteemed guests. About me, I started my journey in data science in 2019. I started working with a decision sciences consultancy called Mu Sigma, and post that, I'm currently working at a financial organization, and I have experience of almost 5.5, 6 years in this field. And I'm really happy to be able to share few of my learning tips to uh, to potential data scientists. Yeah.
Thank you, Sneha. Abis, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Sure, sure. Thank you for having me, Jason, and thank you for the lovely introduction, Sneha. So, my name is Abis, and I run a company called Rain AI here in the UAE. Fun fact, I actually did not start my career in data science. It was mainly with IT infrastructure and cloud infrastructure. And as things went by, I caught up interest with data science and AI, and I thought, okay, let's begin my own startup. And that's how I got into data. And it's been going really well. We have been doing projects with the UAE government, private companies over here, companies across different borders across the world. So it has been a fun journey.
Thank you, Abis. Shilpa, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Um, Hi everyone. I'm Shilpa. I am passionate about data science, analytics, large scale program management. And I have led analytics and data science digital teams in overall 15 years of my career for Fortune 500 companies, leading large scale projects. And yeah, I'm looking forward to having this conversation with you all today.
Yeah, thank you, Shilpa. We will quickly dive into what is data science and some of its career options as well. So, as all the panelists would agree, and all the listeners and viewers would agree, data science is a very rapidly evolving field that combines domain expertise, programming skills, and a lot of statistics and mathematics as well. And just to give you a highlight of the growth and demand, the US Bureau of Labor Statistics projects that employment of data scientists will grow by 36% from 2023 to 2033, which is like to 20,000 plus job openings for data scientists expected. So this is just one of the figures from US Bureau of Labor Statistics, but still there are a lot of improvement and innovation in this sector. A lot of gaps also is there. Lot of cleansing and visualization prospects in this particular segment. Let's start with the key basic question for any aspirant who would like to take up data science as a career. What are the key foundational skills required to begin a career in data science? I would like to ask this question to Shilpa, then move on to Abis and Sneha. Shilpa, over to you.
Sure, Jason. I think I would start with data science is the art of turning raw data into meaningful stories that drive decisions and innovation. So, data science is not just about algorithms and models, it's about asking the right questions, uncovering insights, and turning data into impact. So, I would say that curiosity to understand the business context is the first key skill. And overall, a combination of technical, analytical, and business oriented skills. Because you asked for fundamental skills, so I think the fundamental skills would be SQL, Python, R, Git, cloud, and big data. Some a blend of probability and statistics as well. And then in the next layer, it comes down to data visualization, machine learning fundamentals, and overall business and communication skills to connect the stories. And So basically, I would like to conclude that data science who can drive business impact business outcomes and impact will own their career trajectory.
Yeah. Abis, would you like to add something?
Yes, of course. I do agree with Shilpa. I mean, curiosity is something that every data scientist or data analyst must have, right? They must be really curious about how the data works, what kind of data they have, and exploring that data just in general. But just when it comes to fundamental and foundational skills, I think it's very, very important to have a strong foundational base in mathematics and statistics, whether it's probability, whether it's your linear algebra, descriptive and inferential stats, hypothesis testing, things like that. And then, of course, you have your programming skills, whether it's in Python, in SQL, and then visualizing that data, things like Tableau, Matplot, Power BI, because at the end of the day, sure, you have your data, but you need to be able to visualize this to the end person, right? And of course, as you move throughout your career, you need to get solid fundamentals in machine learning as well. Understand things like how your supervised learning, unsupervised learnings, different algorithms, things like that. And as you grow up further, you go to your managerial roles, and having good communication and presentation skills do matter a lot.
Sneha, I think there is a lot of soft skills and also technical skills combined together, as Abis and Shilpa were speaking on. Technical skills, obviously, there are a lot of many to be grasped or maybe kind of upskilled. But would you like to share some elements of soft skills in terms of how to approach career pathways as well?
Yeah, definitely. So when I started my career, I learning from what Shilpa said, right? Shilpa said curiosity is very important. For me, also curiosity was very important. During my college days, I tried experimenting with multiple different things, and that's when I landed with Python. And I was like, okay, this is something interesting, and this is something that I am comfortable doing in. So I started moving on, developing multiple different algorithms, learning data structures in Python, and seeing whether I have the logic building skills or not. Once I started doing that, I was like, okay, this seems interesting. Data science seems interesting, but not just building models and learning the core concepts, but also being able to, do the storytelling through the answers or the predictions or the insights that I have generated. Being able to convert your raw data into insights and being able to convince the other stakeholder about your insights is also very crucial. And I feel data science is a role which impacts and which involves everything altogether, not just your core coding skills, but also your storytelling skills, your ability to convince the other person, and your ability to integrate math with simple layman terms so that the other person can understand it very clearly. That's also crucial.
Right. Shilpa, uh, I mean, where does it start from? For a student, if he is studying in a school level or maybe in a college level, where does this whole education system start when he starts to realize that he's actually inclined towards data science? Or is it at the graduation level when he started to understanding the concepts or basic concepts?
I would say that data manipulation skills start at, even to fourth and fifth graders as well, right? I've seen my kids, doing the data graphs and all that. So those are very math skills, and they start from the very basic elementary maths, like how can you visualize the data, how can you visualize the bar charts and all that. So I think that's a core foundation. So if you can connect the dots between numbers and stories, I think that skill set is very, very important.
Yeah. Abis, I think since children would love to take up, or maybe students would love to take up data analytics. What is the future of data analytics based on your vast experience in the UAE as a founder? Would you like to share some insights? Where does this whole intuition or maybe kind of thought process of taking data analytics as a career, where does it end? And what are the roles we are expecting in?
Thank you, Jason. So Uh, in my experience with working alongside many teams and handling different projects, what I've seen is that there is definitely an upper trajectory in terms of career opportunities within the region. And this was prevalent definitely pre 2022 within the UAE as well. And since the AI boom, as I would like to say, once GPT came out, everyone was just interested with AI and with Claude and prompt engineering and vector databases and new things have come up. Although, funnily, these things existed in the past. It's just that no one paid attention to them. I remember back when I was in school and university, we used to play around with GPT-1 and GPT-2. It did the exact same thing. It was slower, not really accurate, but it was definitely there. And a lot of people who picked it up during that time, they went ahead, they definitely built up their foundational skills. They got their degrees, whether it's a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, even going to get PhDs, and now they are having really successful careers within the region. So it's definitely something to be proud of, and the future of data science is definitely positive in the region.
Yeah, the future of data science is positive indeed. Sneha, let's now start with the core element of data analysis or data sciences, where the technical skills are involved. Uh, because we spoke on the career pathways, now let's talk on the data collection or the cleansing part. What tools and techniques would you love to share for those people who are starting up, and then all those people who are involved in data science and data analysis um, projects?
Right, right. That's a great question. And honestly, data collection and data cleaning as well as data pre-processing is very crucial in a data science project. So at first, the way I approach a particular project that comes to me is that understand my problem scope and understand what I want to do, what is the end result that the business team or any other team who is going to consume the result that I'm going to create, what they are looking for. So that's what I would do first. I'll ensure that that is clear in my mind. And post that, I would go ahead and talk to those teams, understand their needs and requirements, understand what is the current process that they follow to take decisions. Based on that, I'll get an understanding of the data and the kind of things that they look at while making decisions. Once that is clear, I'll be able to go ahead and, curate data, especially for that particular use case. And curating data is very crucial because it, at the first stage itself, it helps us to, remove unnecessary and irrelevant data. So because, data is huge. In any organization that you go, you would find millions and millions of data. But to understand and to, pinpoint and look at the right data is very crucial. Because wrong data can also give you results, but it might not give you the results that you need. So it's very important to look at the right data. Data collection process is very crucial. Post that, while you are collecting the data, it's also important to ensure that you are compliant. You are ensuring the compliancy that's required by the organization. You are ensuring that the data is anonymous. That is, you're not including in any gender bias or any other sort of bias that could penetrate into your predictions. So you want to ensure that you are taking a wholesome data. You're not, biasing. You're curating a biased data set so that the predictions and the result that you get is specifically focused for one particular sector. And it majorly depends case to case, but ensure that your data is not biased and ensure that it's anonymous, ensure that it's compliant. So all those things are very important and very important in terms of data collection. And the major data collection tools and technologies that I use is SQL. SQL is like the basic, even though we feel that it's basic and everywhere we say SQL, but SQL is an important tool. You use it in small organizations, large organizations, everywhere. So it's a tool, it's a must have tool. You also go ahead and use tools and technologies such as Hive and Impala, that's also using, concepts of SQL itself, but maybe based on different tools. Some things might differ, but it's important to learn that as well. But if you know SQL, you will eventually learn Hive and Impala. It's not that difficult. So yeah, so those are the basic things that you need to keep in mind when you're looking at data collection. And when it comes to, pre-processing or data cleaning and things like that, that's also crucial. It's in fact very important. Majority of our time is spent on data cleaning because, the data is messy, it's large. In most cases, it might also be inaccurate. So you need to find the right data. You need to filter out the right data. You need to understand if there are missing values and how you can treat those missing values. Sometimes you might treat it by a mean, a median, or a mode. It depends. Usually a median. If it's a categorical, then you use a mode. So you understand why you want to do what you want to do, how you want to clean it. You go ahead, remove duplicates, you correct your errors, you standardize your data. All these things come under data cleaning. You try to remove your outliers, right? So those things are very crucial. And for these techniques, you use tools like pandas and numpy, which is like the base, which every data analyst, data scientist, as they start getting their hands on, they learn these tools and techniques, and they familiarize themselves with. You need to make sure that before you pass your data into the model, your data is in a format that your model can read it in. So you need to encode your data. You need to make sure that it is scaled, and everything is in the required format so that the model can understand it and develop and predict and give you better results. So it is like the most crucial part of any project that you work on.
Shilpa, Sneha spoke on data collection, data cleaning, the visualization as well, which is the most toughest part. And also, would you like to add some more tools and techniques apart from what Sneha shared?
Sure. I think Sneha is very correct. Like the quality of data, it directly affects the success of any data science project, as Sneha mentioned. So poor data collection, incomplete cleaning, or inadequate pre-processing, they can lead to biased models and inaccurate insights. So time spent on data collection, cleaning, and pre-processing, it significantly influences, the accuracy, interpretability of the models, and effectiveness of any data science model. In terms of data collection tools, in addition to what Sneha mentioned, I would say that we have API and web scraping as well, Python libraries, as well as a common data collection tool. Then the data is collected in databases and SQL like Postgres, MySQL or BigQuery. Then data lakes and data warehouses like Snowflake, Azure Data Lake, AWS S3. Those are very important, tools that in the modern cloud world, everyone should understand at least their architecture, basic layer. And any data analyst should understand the architecture of the data flow, how the data is flowing from the APIs to the cache, or then to the database storage, and how the company's business architecture is. So when the business analyst is finally using that data, they know the story end to end, and they can connect those dots.
Abis, would you like to add something here?
No, not much to add. I just wanted to actually distribute these skills across different career pathways that people might look into, right? So you do have, they've mentioned various skills over here. They've mentioned SQL and Python and visualization, different libraries. They've even spoken about data cleaning, pre-processing, things like that. But here's the thing, not every skill is applicable to every single job role within this realm. Although, yes, there are overlapping skills that everyone must know, and in general, everyone must understand the bare basics. But you do have your data analysts, right? And their responsibilities are mainly focused towards reporting, descriptive analysis, visualizations. Then again, you have your data scientists, your the ones who are building the predictive models, they're interpreting data. They have in depth of domain knowledge, things like that. Alongside them, you have machine learning engineers. They are building scalable ML systems, working closely with data scientists, and again, really high paid in the tech sectors. And behind the scenes, the ones who are actually collecting your data and making sure that everything is in order are your data engineers, right? They are building and maintaining the entire data infrastructure. They're making sure the data is accurate. You're getting the data in time, managing your ETLs. It's a very foundational role, actually. And more on the support side and on the R&D side of things, you have your AI researchers. They are continuously trying out different models, different techniques to just in general have a progressive mindset in this field.
Abis, also, it's very important to understand the role of technology also in data sciences and data analytics. Do you see any kind of innovation in the next few years coming up in this whole segment, or are you experiencing any kind of innovation currently?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you just look across the board, two things are definitely happening. And the first thing is that AI models are getting better and cheaper at the same time, right? When the newer GPT-3 came out, it was expensive and it was kind of slow and not as accurate. There is, but these days, on a weekly basis, you see new models come in, whether it's a text-based model, an image-based model, or a video-based model, and you have multimodal models as well. And every week, they're just getting better. You have Anthropic release something. The next week from China, you will have Alibaba release a new open source model. India wants to get into the race as well. All various countries all over Europe, America, Asia are competing to give out the best new model. And what's even better is that they don't want to focus on commercializing it. These are just open source models which anyone can pick up, modify, and use. And the second thing that I'm noticing is on the infrastructure part of things, the hardware. It's getting cheaper and cheaper. Back in my day, it was quite expensive to procure a GPU. But these days it's much more affordable. You have different vendors providing different kinds of GPUs with different power units. We are also moving away from GPUs actually and moving into TPUs and LPUs. Which are much more faster for AI inference. So these two things are definitely, I see them as something really innovative and will keep growing in the next few years.
Yeah. Shilpa, let's talk about some ethical standards as well. When it comes to data collecting, data analysis, ethical data, or maybe kind of clear, when you are cleaning the data itself, you find kind of different aspects to it, and you see wrong data, you see made up data as well. So how does protection of consumers or kind of protection of data and ethical standards play an important role based on your experience?
So, Jason, in some of my LinkedIn posts, I have mentioned that trust is very fundamental to all your AI and data science properties. So I think with that layer and every big tech has their trust responsible AI frameworks, and those revolve around five things, which is data transparency, inclusivity, treating data with respect, like in terms of consumer respect and all that. So I think when we look at those frameworks, and every organization has their responsible AI team these days, at least one or two people. In smaller organizations, bigger organizations obviously have more, bigger teams. So I think responsible AI and responsible data layer is very, very important and crucial for your business, and that includes maybe a trust architecture layer where you have multiple phases of checking the data in terms of. So if you think of financial, businesses, right? So you have zero trust security architecture there. By what that means is you have multiple layers where you will trust, will check the users and things like that. So and consumer data privacy is very important. My personal data should not be leaked out to other consumers. So all those checks and models are, I would say, are very, very important before we even talk about data science.
Absolutely. Sneha, a quick question to you. Do you see a difference between data analytics and data science, or is it same?
So there is a brief difference between data analytics and data science. Majorly when you look at a problem that you're trying to solve, data analytics comes in place wherein once the data is collected, once the problem is understood, and once the data is collected, data analysts are people who do the brief analysis of the initial set of data. In case they are into the process of understanding the data, seeing what's there in it, and giving back creating the report and insights and giving back it to the stakeholders. So that's where analytics come into picture and data analysts come into picture. They also play a part in, data cleansing, pre-processing, doing the EDA and things like that. But, and also once the model is developed, checking if, the model performance is good or things like that, that's where analysts also come into picture. That is monitoring the model, giving back the results, checking if the model is doing well or not, and analysts come into picture. But in terms of data scientists, they are more or less involved in the end-to-end process, right from the problem understanding to development and monitoring and feedback. Though they don't come much under the deployment framework of the data science journey, uh, that's where the difference lies between data analysts and data scientists. So yeah, data analysts are more into, they have more business understanding, I feel, because mostly what I have observed is that business tend to directly have conversation with data analysts so that they can give them quicker results in a lesser time frame. Whereas when you develop a model and you need to follow a framework, there is a little bit more of time consumption that takes place, which also differs. But in case you want to develop a predictive solution or a preventive solution or develop something called as a next best action, that's where, data scientists come into frame. Yeah, so that's what I would like to say on this.
Absolutely. So now let's talk on the sustainability element as well, because that is where the whole world is moving to. And when it comes to data analysis and data science, also sustainability is not a new subject because everything has to be sustainably acquired. So, Abyss, a quick question to you based on your experience. Have you encountered projects where data was used for sustainability projects, or maybe have you seen a kind of link between data analysis and data sciences with sustainability uh, targets?
That's a very interesting question because sustainability is not the first thing that comes to data scientists' mind, right? They're working on a project, they have their project requirements, they know they have their tasks, ABC, this is the end result. They, of course, they think about data privacy and security and performance and what tools they'll use. Sustainability is, of course, not on their mind, but as you mentioned, Jason, as days goes by, sustainability is becoming a big factor across the globe. And although it is not as widely adopted yet. There have been companies, institutions who have started implementing practices, right? In terms of just environment sustainability, if you look into that within the UAE, I do remember there was a project by the Abu Dhabi government where they were trying to, their entire data center, it was a mini data center, it was being completely powered by solar power. And it wasn't your standard solar panel farms and things like that. It was much more comprehensive, much more intricate compared to anything else I've seen out there. So yes, people are definitely moving forward to that direction, although I feel that the focus is not there yet.
But I think the emissions are evident in when you collect data and when you process data, emissions are there. Heat is being generated. And I think there are a lot of projects to encounter that as well. Shilpa, would you like to add something in this context?
Yes, Jason. Yeah, adding to what Ebis just mentioned. I'll talk about sustainable supply chain, where we talk about unproductive inventory, right? So I have worked at US retailer Target, and we used to have like big projects related to unproductive inventory, and how do we recycle those? So sustainable supply chain is a big topic that can use data science. For example, Walmart using data to reduce the food wastage. And things like that. And waste management too. For example, I think IBM uses some AI models for smart recycling or AI powered image recognition for recyclable materials and things like that. And then if we talk about agricultural, data-driven irrigation and weather prediction, optimizing water and crop health, or the AI-powered farming is a very big topic these days that can really impact sustainable agriculture. If I think about, in terms of energy optimization or carbon footprint tracking, there are a lot of machine learning analysis that will use the emissions data for companies to reduce the, carbon dioxide and things like that. Microsoft is also, I have read some reports where Microsoft's AI is working a lot on the sustainability side for various enterprises. So just want to add a few things there.
Yeah, that's great. So, Sneha, would you like to add something? Yeah.
I think Abhis and Shilpa have covered it quite well. As mentioned, there are multiple different sustainability benchmarking that's present, and different AI corporations need to follow those and ensure that they are into that particular grade, or maybe labeling, whichever is the thing that's, or certification that they need to follow to ensure that they are following the sustainability norms set by the global organizations. Yep.
Right, right. Since you mentioned certification, would you like to share some kind of certifications, Abyss, for those graduates who are actually looking to this data science as a career?
Most definitely. In fact, I would go far to say that you do not really need a degree to pursue a career in data science, right? I did mention earlier on this call that I have seen people previously get their degrees and be successful in their career, which is a good way to go about it. However, knowledge has become so prevalent, and with these new AI technologies coming along, you can definitely self-learn, right? And a lot of people out there are not able to afford, let's say, the best of educations. And at the same time, you have universities out there not having the education level is not as good, I would say that. So you want to make sure you get the best ROI on your money, on your time, things like that. A few certifications I would recommend just to get the basics out of the way and deep dive into different case studies. A few would be from Google. There is the Google data. I don't remember the exact name, but there is a Google data analyst certification. There is one by IBM as well. I think it's called the data analyst professional. Then we have some by Meta, right? Meta has their both data analyst as well as a data engineering certification. All of these courses are actually available for free. All you need to do is go onto Coursera or the respective vendor website, just apply to the program and get started.
Yeah. Shilpa, anything to add here?
Yeah, I think it depends also on what you are targeting. If you're targeting a data engineering role, a data scientist role, an AI engineer role, and things like that. But I agree with Ebis that a lot of certifications are free. So it makes sense to do the free certifications even on top companies like Google and all. They have a lot of free certifications.